Major Music.
What up? Like to welcome y'all back to Major Music TV. It's your boy D-Dot coming at y'all with some more producer talk. If this is your first time to my YouTube channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. I'd like to come at y'all at least once a week with just a different topic on music production. Not only that, but also some things related to being an artist. So, either or is welcome to this channel. Just trying to create a community where we can all kind of work with each other and exchange ideas and things like that. Not only do I do videos like this, but I like to do beat making videos as well, at least every week. So definitely check some of those out. You can look on this channel and you'll see a whole lot of them from the past. If there's anything that also you see me using and you have any questions on, I don't mind doing a video on that as well. Now this week we're going to talk a little bit about some things on Instagram in terms of scamming. You may find that on other social media sites as well. I know some of this stuff is well known to maybe producers that have been doing this for quite some time. If I can make people aware of some of the things that are going on right now, that is something that I'll do every time. A lot of you, this is your livelihood. You may have a job that you work really hard. It might be your part-time job. It might be your full-time job. And you're taking money that you spend, anywhere from maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 hours a week or more to fund your music career and what you're doing musically, only to get screwed out of your hard-earned money. I'm just gonna go over a couple of things real quick just to give people a heads up. Alright, so on Instagram, sometimes you may use these hashtags related to like hip-hop, indie hip-hop, underground hip-hop, etc., etc. You can go on and on. It might be iTunes, it might be Apple Music, it might be Spotify. But my point is, when you post those hashtags, typically that brings along somebody who may come onto your post and say, hey, such and such a producer really likes what you're doing. They want to work with you, DM you. Now that can go several different ways. It could be a legitimate thing in some cases. It may be a scam in some cases. Well, I've heard stories about some people that have been told, hey, we're gonna sign you, but you gotta send us $100 or $150 to get signed. Number one, you shouldn't have to pay anybody to get signed. And the thing is, they either use bots or they try to go at young up-and-coming producers that really have no idea what's going on. And I see it happen frequently when I'm posting like for one of my own albums, or when I'm posting like a beat making video. Never fails. I always get one of them on my post with that message. I like to block them all because it just gets annoying after a while. You shouldn't be paying anybody to sign a record deal. They should be paying you. And I don't really see what people get out of it other than wanting to swindle people out of money and give them false dreams like, something is going on. Just work. Just work. If somebody's really and truly interested in you, then they'll find you and you'll know it's legitimate because they won't ask you for money. Now I will say this, there are some entities also that are legit that maybe you may have to pay a fee of some sort. I wouldn't necessarily say it's getting signed to a label, but I would say more so it could be something like PR, it could be something like promotions or marketing. You may pay a fee and they repost you to their network, which they may have 1,000 or they may have thousands of followers. And that's also the other thing. If somebody's offering you promotion and you got more followers than them, that's a red flag right there. Like, why am I gonna pay you to promote my album when you got 200 followers and you may have 4 posts in your page? Now they can, granted, have another account, but I'm just saying for the optics of it, if you're reaching out to somebody for business, to promote something, I personally wouldn't be impressed by somebody that reached out to me that I had more followers from. I can promote my album by myself without, paying somebody $10, $20, $30 or more just to repost my album to 200 people. So, look out for them as well. But there are some legitimate people that offer great promotional services. I would just say in that regard, do your best research and make your best judgment in that. If you go to their page, you see a long history of posts, and you see a lot of interaction with the post, and maybe they might tag the person that they're promoting in the post, and you go on their page and you'll notice that they have a lot of followers too. It's kind of helped them as well. So I would say look as deep as you can into promotional services and things like that, as well as, kind of like I was saying at the beginning with the producers that reach out saying that they want to work with you. Sometimes it may be legit. Like there may be times, I've even done it in the past, where I'll reach out to a artist, and our artist may actually reach out to me, and we like what each other are doing. I may offer them a beat or two, on the house, just as a kind of a working relationship, and nothing else, no strings attached from there. That's also the other thing, is it may actually benefit you if you start to find a couple of artists like that along the way, where you can work with them exclusively and just build some sort of relationship, and you never know where that music can take you. And I know, like right now, a lot of people are doing EPs with producers, and in fact I've done an EP with an artist earlier this year, and it's things like that that can potentially help you get heard and possibly bring other artists to you to work with. Now, as far as working with those different artists, I won't sit here and tell a producer whether or not to charge for their work or not. That's totally up to you. I've done it for nothing but to a very, very small group of people. Outside of that, I don't usually work for free with an artist. I believe if I invest in all my studio gear, all my software, etc., then if you want to rap, then you need to invest in the things that you need to invest in to rap. Things like studio time, things like beats, things like music videos, which you find sometimes they may ask you for the free beat, but then turn around and go pay $1,000 to get a video shot. Some kind of logic there. Other scams that I see, which I've seen them go both ways now. So before I go into it, is I have seen legitimate people that have great programs teaching producers how to sell beats online, but I've also seen, on the flip side of that, people that were scamming producers, telling them things on how to sell beats online, and they're just trying to make money off of them. And a lot of this stuff, man, they don't really give a damn about you as a person, you as an artist, you as a producer. They're just after your money. I would really say do your best research. Maybe ask someone that used those courses before, because a lot of producers may be selling beat selling courses, but they don't really sell a lot of beats themselves, if anything. So they're making more money, in fact, from selling the beat selling courses than they're selling actual beats. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, me personally, I wouldn't say I have the most sales out there, but I get a pretty good amount to put back into what I do. That's also the other thing. If you make something off of whatever you sell, put it back into your business. Now, the other thing I will talk about, I don't know if it's fully, I won't say necessarily a complete scam. I guess you can call it a scam, but I'm hearing that a lot of producers now are taking sounds and loop kits and reselling them under their own name. That's something, man, that's, you really think about it, that's been going on actually for years. I know a lot of producers that have, well, I ain't gonna say I know a lot of producers, but I've heard a lot of producers that have taken like old Timbaland or Just Blaze or Manny Fresh or Alchemist or whatever kits, and resell them under their own name. You gotta be more creative than that, and it's sad that a lot of producers are stealing other people's work and reselling it as their own. Just stealing somebody's whole idea, but it's just dirty, and that's not something that sits well with me. Personally, these days, there are some reputable sites with a good track record, or producers or sound designers with a good track record, like MSX Sound Design is one. I also get from Producer's Choice. Loop Masters is another good site I like to buy some of my sounds and loops from. I did the sounds.com thing. I'm not on Sounds anymore, but that was pretty good for a while. So things like that. Use hardware now, as to where I spend a little bit more time kind of building my own drums now, shaping them with the Uno drum synth, and I have other like drum related apps like EG Pulse on the iPad. There's the Drummatic plugin VST that I use in Logic. Shout out to Trauma Drums, by the way, the Drummatic drum plugin. And he has another one, Ape Shit. Yeah, Ape Shit. It's like an 808 kick. Speaking of, there's the 808 app from Audio Kit, which is on iPad. Similar, just kind of like Trauma Drums and Audio Kit, obviously two different avenues, two different companies. But those are some really good sound design companies or individuals that I know. But I would just like I talked about in terms of promotion and marketing, do your research on those individuals to, see if they have a community. How many people are out there using their sounds, or they're getting good reviews, that type of thing. Now lastly, the biggest thing I think which affects artists, producers, maybe even some people outside of producing and being artists, is these Instagram graphic designers. A lot of times they'll come on your page and you, just like I talked about with the hashtags earlier, they'll comment based off of whatever hashtags you post, hit me up for artwork, and then you go on their page, they're following way more people than they have people that's actually following them. Then you go down to all their individual pictures and you see picture after picture with no comments on it. All these pictures with no comments. So one, if they were real in what they did, you would probably see a ton of comments. If their work spoke for itself, you would see a ton of comments on their page. But to go down their pages, in a lot of cases, not even see one comment, which I'm gonna get to. Little story about me and graphic designers. This must have been about 2 years ago. Some of you may remember this if you've been following me for a little bit. At that time I was coming out with an EP, or I just came out with an EP called Attitude Era. And I wanted to do an animated video for it. So I reached out to a graphic designer, and the reason I reached out to them because a friend of mine kind of had me wondering too at the same time. Once you hear the rest of the story, a friend of mine had gotten some work done from them and it looked like it was legitimate. So I knew at that point in time that some of them were scammers, but what made me obviously reach out to him is the fact that I saw he had did some work for someone that I knew. So reach out to him, we chop it up, say, hey, $300 to do your video. So I paid the man his money. So I wait, a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, and this guy hits me up. So he's like, I need some money to do this and that. So at that point, I'm like, I gave you $300. Why is it that, you said you would do a job for a certain price? In other words, if I tell you, for example, if you're an artist out there and I tell you, okay man, I'm gonna make you this beat, I'm gonna charge you $100 for this beat. My word is my word as far as conducting business at that point. If I can't do it for that $100 that you give me, then I'm gonna give you back that money. Try to push for more money. So at that point I was like, you're gonna either let me see some progress or you're not gonna get any money. So continue to argue the point, etc. And lo and behold, I wake up one day and notice that I was blocked by that individual. So I actually have multiple accounts. I have a page for the production team that I'm in, which is Synthesize Mind, and I went into that account. So I looked at the page for the graphic designer, and there was actually somebody right under there with a comment saying, "You scammed me." So I put two and two together at that point, and I was like, okay, this is fucked up, you know. And I hit him up on my other account. I hit him up on email, and he just big talking shit behind the keyboard, you know. And that type of stuff is like, I don't understand. Like, it's people that like that really fuck up the game, you know. And I'm just getting this out there for you guys to never have that happen to you. From here on out, and what I've done since then is I've learned how to do some graphic design myself, but also I know some legitimate animators and legitimate graphic designers now. So in fact, I did a animated video for Coasting that is on this website, Coasting, off of my MPH album. That was on me, part of it. I shouldn't have did that, but you live and you learn. So that's really it. I just want everybody to know that this shouldn't be happening to you. You guys work hard. As I said at the beginning of the video, a lot of y'all may work 40 hours a week, and what you do funds your music career. You know, you have to pay for all these things we talked about: graphic designers, videos, studio time, mixing, mastering, production, and then us as producers, we have to pay for everything in our lab to make the beats. And if we're engineers too, as I was saying, we have to pay for a lot of these plugins. You know, be cautious of who you give your money to online. Do your research. I just want to say I appreciate everybody that's joined the channel over the past couple of weeks. I appreciate you guys reaching out and connecting with me. And if you have any ideas on videos that you'd like me to do, go ahead, leave that in the comments, or hit me up on Instagram. I gave y'all the Instagram, so definitely hit me up. Until next time, peace.